Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy! Today we have Sycamore. This comes to us from friend of the channel and longtime viewer, Valerie. Valerie's a frequent contributor to the comments section, and she was the first person to supply wood to this channel. Valerie contacted me about 3 years ago. I think I might have had as many as 5 videos up at the time, and she asked me if I wanted some wood, and of course I did. And so she came here to the shop and brought me some wood, and I turned a lot of that wood over the years. And recently she contacted me again and said, hey, I've got some wood for you, I'm gonna have a friend bring it by. And sure enough, the friend came and brought me several pieces of wood, including this sycamore. And when I saw this, I just got excited. To me, this is like a perfect piece of wood. It's such a great wood anyway, and this does have so many characteristics. And just the overall shape, it just gets me excited. The piece is about 2.5 inches, 3 inches tall, depending on where you measure it. Over here, it's 5 inches tall. It's about 14 inches from this corner to this corner, and about 9 by 11 otherwise. So what I'm going to do is clear a spot here for my chuck jaws to set against, right in the middle. I'll drill a hole for my woodworm screw. We'll get this mounted up on the lathe and start turning. The piece, as you might guess, is severely out of balance. I can only turn at 370 RPM. I'm going to use a 5/8 inch bowl gouge. I'm going to wear a glove because the pieces coming off of here are going to be sharp. Mask and face shield on. Well, I've got this one flat side right here, but if I try and remove that, I'm going to remove more than I want to. So we might just have one little flat. I'm going to try picking the speed up some more. About 5:30. I'm going to come up here to the top of this one wing right here and kind of roll it in a little bit. This is what I want to work on right here. It's just this one wing. You may be able to see that it's the only thing that comes close to the tool rest. And I also went and sharpened up. Yeah, that might be just about the right amount. Just want to round it over a little bit more than it is. You can hear my spindle making noise again. Been doing that the last couple of pieces. Boy, that drives me nuts. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'll do just a little bit more, but I'm gonna get rearranged here. Boy. Yeah, I like that. I like everything but this flat spot, but I just can't take it without taking all of this wonderfulness here. I might be able to minimize it when I sand, take off this edge a little bit, but I can't turn it away. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll see if I can't smooth out the side cuts here. Not looking too good yet. Also might be able to pick the speed up some now. You can stand the noise. There's about 610. Well, this jet lathe is just angering me. It's given me really good service, but not that long, you know, about 3 years. And maybe I know how to fix it. Maybe I can fix it like I did the last time, but geez, I shouldn't have to. It was, last time it was a loose handle. I've got my hand on the handle out here on the other side of the headstock. And I guess that lets the spindle shift a little bit, I guess. I don't know. That's what they told me where I got it. And I fixed it, and it was an easy fix and didn't cost anything, and but now here it is doing it again. That was only like 3 months ago or something. Pretty soon I won't be able to tighten it anymore, and then what? Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with this. Got to round up the bottom a little more. Might be a little bigger than it needs to be. But I am going to see if I can't fix that noise, so I'll be back. Maybe I'll make a video about how to fix this lathe if there's anybody else out there that has this same lathe. This is a Jet 1840. I would assume the 1640 has the same issue. I haven't heard anybody ever say anything about it but me. But that took me, because I've done it before, the first time it took 5 minutes, this time it took 2 minutes, and it appears to be fixed. The noise is gone. I'm tickled about it, but it irritates me that I have to do that. Okay, I'm going to flatten off the bottom here, lay out for a tenon, still with the 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. I'm going to use this diamond point tool to square up the sides of the tenon. And that's perfect, and now we know where we can make a base and get rid of some of this wide bottom here. And that should work. I'm just going to try and finish up my profile, clean up my cuts. Time for sanding. I'm in love with this bowl. It's going to be very, very nice, exceptional. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. I'm just going to sand this edge here, and over here I've got a bark inclusion, well, not a bark inclusion, an inclusion. And then this right here. But I just want to, before I put finish on here, I want it to be done so that when I start working on the top side I don't have to wrap over. And that's 180 grit. And this is 80 grit, my 2-inch disc sander. I'll be sanding in reverse at about 350. Well, let's see. Yeah, about 350. And I'll show you both of those as soon as I get my mask on. And I'll do more of that, but that's the idea. And that's what that'll look like. So that's what I'll be doing for a while, and I'll bring you back once time to put some finish on. I'm going with the Howard Feed and Wax for my finish on this piece. I think it's going to bring out all this grain quite nicely. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Wow, it's just beautiful. And these look like somebody took a Sharpie, but that's not the case. That's just part of the grain, just part of the spalting. It's really nice. Then I will have to use a brush to get into a couple of areas here. If I had a lot to do, I would put some in a can, but I don't have much to do, so I'm just going to take it right out of the bottle here. And I know you can't see this up here. It's just a hole, but it's kind of a cool hole. And then what I'll do once this sets up is I'll use compressed air to blow it out of that hole, and then a toothbrush to buff it out of there. It'll look good. Okay, so I'm going to let this set up for about a half hour. I'll buff it up, and then we'll start working on the inside, and that's when I'll bring you back. See you in a bit. I'm going to use tailstock support for as long as I can, and I probably don't want to come out any further than this right here, or I'll run right off this edge over here. That's what we're going to shoot for. I'll just start working this away. Once we get it down to this level down here, then I'll get rid of the tailstock, because it's difficult to get a good angle with the tailstock in my way of my tool handle. But I'll do what I can. We're going to be turning at 540 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Yep, I'm right there. So, I think I can get rid of the tailstock safely now, I hope. We'll find out. I just want to see where we are here. We're about an inch away or less. Well, I can actually go bigger if I don't mind losing some of this. I find it interesting. That's why I like to keep it. But I have this and this and this. And I have those if I don't go any wider than that. Yeah, I think I will come out here. We'll lose a little bit. I think that'll do it. Yep. 1/4 inch or even a little less. I'm going to sharpen up my negative rake scraper. I'll be right back. One of my most common questions I get in the comments is, could you do a sharpening video? I have a video called Shop Secrets and Tour. If you look for that, Shop Secrets and Tour on my channel, you'll see, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of sharpening along with a tour of the shop. But in that video, I don't think I covered this, but I have covered this many times. People are always asking, how do you sharpen your negative rake scraper? And this is a negative rake scraper. It's got a bevel on the bottom and on the top. And what that does is it keeps it from grabbing so much. It's not grabby, it's safer to use, and it still does a nice job. Unlike the shop video says, I changed the bevel angle. This is now 36 degrees top and bottom, 36 degrees. So I've changed it to that. Look at that video and you'll see how I sharpen it. But in between sharpenings, in between going to the grinder, you can take a round screwdriver like this, and this is the heel of the bevel, and this is the toe of the bevel, heel and toe. If you lay your screwdriver on there and then raise it up slightly off of the heel, just so it's on the toe, just slightly, heel and toe, screwdriver, lift it up off of the heel and onto the toe, and just apply pressure with your thumb and just run it across that edge underneath. What you're doing is raising a burr. You're not sharpening it, you're raising a burr up here. It's not something you can see necessarily. You can feel it. You can't necessarily see it. And you won't see any metal come off because you're not taking any metal off. What you're doing is you're bending this sharp edge. You're bending it up ever so slightly. And all you need is that burr. Now that burr is not going to last a very long time, especially with a negative rake scraper. But so you might have to do it a couple of times on a bowl like this before you get it done. But I just thought I'd go over that again. I have shown that in several other videos actually, but you might have missed them. Not everybody watches every video, Phil. I know. Now this is still very difficult because I'm only hitting one edge up here at the top. So it takes a light touch. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with my Sandoflex. I'm going to sand all of the natural parts here, the unturned parts. And that's at 180 grit. Then I'm going to switch to my 2-inch disc sander at 80 grit and sand the interior. And I'll show you both of those as soon as I get my mask on. So that's what that's going to look like. I'll do a little bit more of that. And that just cleans it up and makes it feel nice. And then with the lathe spinning forward at about 390 RPM. And that's a little faster than normal. The reason is because I'm only hitting here and then I'm hitting air, and I don't want, with the lathe spinning slower, I don't want to drop into that gap and get smacked by these other parts coming around. So a little faster. There is a lot of punkiness in here, way more than the outside. There's some right here, quite a bit right here, and this is really bad over here. I mean, it goes in there a good 1/16 of an inch. It's not going to be a perfect finish, but it'll be quite nice and it'll look nice, and that's not going to be the first thing you see. You're going to see all these cool features. So I'll bring you back in a little while when it's time to put some finish on. Well, the sanding was much faster and easier than I thought it was going to be. The grain in this piece is just beautiful, except for that punkiness. But that's really not the first thing you notice. And again, Howard feed and wax on here. And I will use a brush just like I did on the outside in some areas. Oh, see, that looks nice too, huh? That does. Plus I see a few animals in this piece. We'll talk about that in a little while, see if you see them. There's a couple right there. So I'll work at this for a bit, let it set for a half hour, buff it up, and I'll bring you back when it's time to take that tenon off. See you in a bit. I have a block of wood mounted up on my chuck. I'm going to place a non-slip cloth over that and bring up the bowl. And then bring up my tailstock. I still have the center hole there for reference. Just apply a little pressure, bring up the tool rest. We'll spin the piece up. I'll hold my thumbnail against the edge of the tenon, make sure it's hitting equally all the way around, and it is. I'll turn the speed up to about 600 RPM. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge and begin to removing the tenon. Some of the tenon broke away there. That makes it a little bit more scary, but we will press on. Now I want to check for clearance. And we have clearance. Now I'm going to use a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge. I'm also going to turn the speed down to about 400 RPM and just keep working it away. Oh boy, even more of it broke away. Oh, I'll keep trying. I'm going to turn the speed down to about 200 RPM, and I'm going to apply the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl. Pressure towards the headstock. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch. Let's see if we can't get it all. It's mostly just broke away. So this won't be an award-winning removal. But it's the best we could do under the circumstance. Now I'll take it over here to the workbench, sand it up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this. If you'd share this video, that'd be terrific. That'll really help me. Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, here it is, one Sycamore bowl in the books. Lots to see in here. I'll point out what I see. I just love this. I like the shape of it. I'm really glad I went with the feed and wax. It just gives it such a silky smooth finish. Now what do we see? Well, here we see the bear right here? Grizzly bear, big old grizzly bear. Down here, this is hard to see, but once you see it, it's hard to unsee. See the lady's face right here, and her hair right behind, and her back coming down here. And then look over here, here's her arm, and her hand reaching out. She kind of looks like a pioneer lady to me. And she's pressing forward. Come on, press forward. And then above her there you see some clouds with the black outline. Pretty cool. And then here we have right there in the middle bottom, we've got two either mountains, one here, one over here, or maybe they're volcanoes. Yeah, you see them. I don't know, what do you see on the bottom? Lots of cool grain down there. I just love that hole, that natural void there. Love that. Tell me what you see. Thank you to Valerie for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome and I read all of them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.